breakthrough innovation, leading trait technology, innovative breeding, exceptional yield potential. Now that's powerful performance from DeKalb.
What we call physiologic specialization in plant pathology is essentially the existence of different strains of essentially the same species of a pathogen or of the same type of pathogen. So for instance, with Plasmodium brassicae, which called Clubroot, all Plasmodium brassicae is not the same. Some strains can attack, for instance, cabbages, other strains can attack maybe Brassica napus canola. So there can be different species, but they can also, some strains may be able to attack one type of or variety of canola, but not another one. So they become very specific against particular varieties and species. So this is very important because in terms of developing genetically resistant varieties, when a breeder is going to develop, let's say, a variety of canola that's resistant to clubroot, the way he selects his material and screens out what's resistant versus what's not is he inoculates or he adds Plasmodium brassicae to the roots and sees which one can withstand the infection and which one can't. But if not all the strains are the same, then he has to make, or he or she, the breeder has to make sure that the strains that they're using to select their resistant material is representative of the strains that a farmer would encounter in his field. Because if they're not, then you could have great resistance, but maybe it's a resistance that's effective in one region but not another. So that becomes very, very important in terms of knowing what you're breeding against, essentially, kind of knowing your enemy. So there's different systems to identify strains, but what we've seen is that they're using the various systems. We've seen that there are multiple strains of the clubroot pathogen in Canada, and these strains are not all equal in terms of their ability to attack canola. And one of these strains, called pathotype 3, is the most common in central Alberta and in most of Alberta. And it's very, and that pathotype 3, is very virulent on canola. That means it can attack canola very strongly. So it makes sense then that either this strain became adapted to canola or was already present and has proliferated and become very common because it's attacking canola.
As Agriculture Canada, basically, I have been focused on the genetic control, on the diseases. The different scientists work there. But my project for identify resistant gene and map resistant gene and develop markers, molecular markers, a kind of for breeding tool. And also we trying to transfer the resistant gene from the diploid species. This term is too specific? Yeah, that's okay. Diploid species into canola Brassica napus. And also, as AFC have Brassica rubber breeding program. So, and also we want to transfer resistant gene from vegetable bee wrapper into canola bee wrapper. And we're trying to transfer resistant gene to master species as well. There are two master species at AFC, Brassica jonesii and Brassica carinata. Jonesii is condiment mustard, and also there are canola quantity mustard as well. Yeah, canola quantity jonesii. And carinata right now is mustard. So, Dr. Kevin Fogg wants to develop a canola type carinata as well. So we're trying to transfer resistant gene to all these crops. 4 crops at the AFC actually: napus, canola, rapa canola, jonesii, and also carinata.
I'm doing Clubroot resistant research, especially focused the canola itself, what we can do for the canola cultivars, especially the resistant genes. Now, we're working on the cloning and the function analysis of different clubroot resistant genes from different Brassica species. So we already mapped and cloned some Clubroot resist genes. That's the result we have. And also we developed molecular markers. Those molecular markers, the seed company can use for canola breeding to have the cultivars with the Clubroot resist gene. So farmers can use those cultivars you see to control the Clubroot disease.
We have screened 275 accessions of different Brassica species to identify which accession or accession or line carry resistance to this disease. We collected this germplasm from worldwide, that's from different gene bank, universities and research institutes. So we have a very rich collection of germplasm of different Brassica species, not only Brassica napus canola, but other species also, Oleracea, which is cabbage, cauliflower, turnip, broccoli, all this type. And then we identified these resistance sources and then made this information available to the public through publication, so that all canola breeders, they can use this information and then identify the germplasm for use in their breeding program for the development of Clubroot resistant cultivar. Also, we have integrated resistance from winter canola cultivar, that's Mendel, and then also rutabaga, and then also from some other sources, turnip sources, we are integrating resistance, but we have already achieved with Mendel resistance and rutabaga resistance, and then we made this germplasm available to the industry for use in their breeding program for cultivar development.
When we started with Clubroot, we really didn't know anything about it, particularly in a canola context or in a Canadian context. So a lot of this information has given us a very strong foundation and has facilitated the development of resistant varieties and so on. But we have to try to make a really strong effort to stay ahead of the disease. So, for instance, continue to monitor where it is, where it's spreading. Is it how do the resistant varieties continue to perform well? Do we need to find new sources of resistance, and then how is the disease spreading? So there's still lots of questions that we have to answer, and also we need to keep abreast of the situation just so that we don't get blindsided by Clubroot again, so we can keep moving forward. And right now we're in a pretty good spot. We're managing it, but we have to work to stay ahead of Clubroot. So.